The House of Drear, Chapter 9, Part 3. At the sight of Mr. Small and Thomas, Pluto brought the buggy nearly to a stop. "Good morning to you," he shouted, smiling broadly. "The bad weather has made its getaway, and I'm feeling good," he laughed loudly. "I see you all be going to Sunday all dressed up." "Good morning to you," Mr. Small said. He was somewhat taken aback by the friendliness of this odd-acting stranger of the night before. But quickly he fell into the spirit of Pluto's good humor. "We are going to Sunday for sure, all of us, even my two little boys." "That's so," said Mr. Pluto. "It's a long spell for the little ones. Preacher likes the sound of his own voice." He laughed again. "Well, they will endure it," said Mr. Small. "I reckon we all will," Mr. Pluto said. "Glad to see you folks are fine," he added. "Did you have a good night? Sleep well there in that big house?" There was a pause in which Mr. Small studied Pluto without blinking. If the old man had meant anything sinister by the remark, there was no trace of it in his eyes. "We slept fine," said Mr. Small. "Couldn't have been better." "Well, we'll see you there," said Mr. Small. "Glad you folks arrived and are feeling good." He had moved off with the buggy when the child, Pesty, piped up. "Mr. Thomas," she called, "how do you like my pretty new shoes?" Thomas didn't quite know what to say. "They're nice, Miss Pesty. Where did you get them?" he did manage to call back. Mr. Pluto gave a whip to the bay. The buggy leaped forward, drowning out Pesty's tiny voice, but Thomas saw the shape of what she spoke. "Mr. Pluto got them for me." The last was something Thomas couldn't make out. At the foot of the bridge, Mr. Pluto turned his buggy into the stream. On the opposite bank, he took with ease the incline to the gravel road and disappeared down toward the highway. "If they aren't a pair," said Mr. Small. "I bet they dress up like that every Sunday just to get the goat of Sunday folks, the ones who believe Pluto is at least part devil." But what did he mean by the other? That's the puzzle, too. By the other what? Thomas wanted to know. Mr. Small had spoken almost to himself. Now he turned on Thomas a brooding look. "Why, the part about being glad we folks arrived," said Mr. Small. "I thought it sounded funny when he said it," Thomas said. "Maybe he was just apologizing for being so scared of the dark and ghosts and everything." "Maybe," Mr. Small said. "Perhaps he was ashamed of himself for mistaking you for someone else in the dark. By the way, we never did find out why you were running in the first place. What happened out there to cause you to break open the door and upset Mama's dishes?" Thomas felt ashamed. All around them was peace and quiet. Even the house did not look ugly in the clear sunlight. There was nothing at all to be afraid of now. "It was spooky on top of the hill last night," he said. "I went up there to see the house from above. I was just going to come back when it got dark, and I heard that awing sound. Papa, it had a funny sign that went right along with it. I just had to follow that sound, and I was going fast because I was kind of scared. I got going too fast, and I was standing on this big wood platform or something before I knew it." "Oh, I see," said Mr. Small. "So that's what happened." "Then the platform started to move," Thomas said. "I slid on it. Next, there was fire coming up from under it, and Mr. Pluto yelling at me." Mr. Small threw back his